Hello. Welcome, welcome everyone. I'm glad you're here today. I see a lot of people saying they're having storms. We're supposed to get bad ones. Oh, shoot. We're supposed to get bad ones tonight here. And I know that because I had a headache yesterday. And then the next day we always have bad weather. I'm like a meteorologist. Anyway, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Okay. So. I had said in a live a while ago, in a couple lives, that I was going to spend March organizing. Guess what I didn't spend March doing?
Organizing.
Well, no, I organized, but I thought I would you always think it'd go faster than it does. So I have organized some stuff, but I thought I'd kind of show you along the way, but then I realized that didn't really work out that well. So I did organize my embellishments. We got our inks organized. I've got my cardstock organized. So I'm getting there. And I thought I would just go ahead today and talk about cardstock organization because I get a lot of questions about this and my old way of organizing. So that's what I'm talking about today. So I will be talking about cardstock organization, and I'm going to show you several options. I'm going to show you what I used to do, what I do now, and some other options that are maybe a little more affordable or just different options, because there are a lot of things that I've tried over the years and that I've liked, and I want to share those today. I also will talk about swatching, my cardstock swatching. Hi, Kathy. My cardstock swatching, I will talk about that too. And what I do for swatching, I do warn you that this kind of organization and my swatching is a little over the top because I need to be really organized for my work. Kathy's here, she does this too, and she would agree with me that part of what we do is making sure we can do it in an easy way, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But I do have my swatching that I've done for a long time and a new spin that I've done on it lately. And this is all cardstock. I'm not talking inks today, just cardstock and papers. So here, I wrote down a few things, and by wrote down, it's not much. I will talk about specialty cardstocks too, how I handle scraps. I'll talk about that too. And yeah, I just have a lot to share. I'll talk about my label maker. I have a card that I want to make. It says it started streaming 91 minutes ago. That's crazy. No, I just started. You can tell because I don't have my act together yet. I have cards that I want to make because I need to. Yeah. But it's mostly prep, so that one won't take long. I have a new tool that I found that's inexpensive that I don't know how I ever lived without. Have giveaways. I've got a lot. So you will have to forgive me because I'm not really sure how to best present all this. And chances are, as I'm going, I might kind of go off course a bit to answer questions or share more ideas. But I'm hoping that this is something you can take notes as you're going or go back and watch and kind of zero in on what you think might work for you. Okay, so I do believe that cardstock is, it's the foundation of what we do, right? And I do believe good quality cardstock and organized cardstock is really helpful when you create. Very helpful. So that's why I wanted to start with it. Okay, so I'll have giveaways at the end, but I do have two special offers for you today because I was telling, hi Veronica, hello everyone. Hello. Toria, Veronica, Susie, hello, welcome here. Okay, so I have two special offers because I told two companies that I would be doing this video and they offered some great deals. So the first one, because the newest cardstock I've gotten for my stash, I was given some and I've bought some because I really like it, is the Spellbinders collection. I talked about this in a live a few weeks ago and I'm loving it more and more lately, and I'll talk about why. And so I recently that's the newest collection I've gotten, and I had to put it away. So that's what I'm gonna show you my organization with today. So when I told Spellbinders that, they said, Mike, can you put it up, that I could do a 10% off site-wide discount. Now that site-wide discount is on everything, I think, except clearance. but their cardstock isn't on clearance. I do have in the YouTube description below the information on that 10% off. You use the code GEN10, I think it is. And again, it's in the YouTube description below, and you click that link and you can get 10% off. I'll be using some other supplies from them today, but the cardstock is like what I've fallen in love with lately. The second special offer, Altenew saw that I was doing this live about organizing cardstock, and they are offering a free gift, and that is with any order. So it's this big zipper pouch. I'll show it to you in a bit. That is free with any order. There is a discount code there. You can see that on the screen, but it's also in the description below. Altenew also has beautiful, unique colors of cardstock. I've talked about them a lot in videos, but also I will be using some Altenew products as options for organization. So the key to this free gift is you have to add it to your cart when you're shopping and use that code. But again, all of that is in the YouTube description below. Let me just show you what that zipper pouch is. Mike, can you go back? This is the zipper pouch from Altenew. It looks like it's mesh, but it's solid, so nothing would fall out. And you can see it would hold cardstock just fine. I use these for kits. I use these like for when I'm organizing for class. I use these for stitching. I use these for a lot. They're just really nice. And this is the one you would get, the teal colored one. So I'm going to be sharing a lot of information today. So I'm going to ask you to do me a huge favor. And that is at the top of my YouTube description, there is a link with the word live in it. And I bet Brianne is here and she could put it in the chat. If you open up that link to a new window, at the top will be all the information about the special offers that are exclusive for all of you. So all of that will be there, easy to find, links to add it to your cart and all that if you want that free gift. And then below it, I will have thumbnail pictures of everything I talk about. All the different organizers, videos that I mentioned, everything is there. It's easier to see it there in the thumbnails than it is in the YouTube description below. There's a lot more on that other page. Brianne just put a link in the chat. Thank you, Brianne. So I really recommend opening that. I think that will be helpful to you. I'm hoping. The free gift, Kim, I'm not sure. The free gift from Altenew is here. So maybe tag Altenew and ask them that question. I'm not sure about that. It should be. I don't know. Okay, so anyways, that is what we have going on today. So site-wide 10% off at Spellbinders, and then a free gift at Altenew. Okay, so let's start. Let's think. I'm going to show you the new little tool that I think is really helpful at the end of this video because I have one to give away. It's a small little tool, but I think it's definitely worth checking out. So let's just start talking about cardstock. Scrappy Cat, it's supposed to work for like your first club. Like if you sign up for clubs, yes, it would work for the first one. That's what they've said in the past. Okay.
They also have some old club products.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Mike was right. Spellbinders also has a great sale section right now. I have it in the description below. It's on past clubs. I think I used one today, but it's things that used to were only available via subscription. So they're older now, but they have deep discounts on them. So it's some huge savings, and that is in the YouTube description below. And Altenew has sales also. So you can get the free gift with whatever. So just a great way to save. I'm always looking for ways to share that. Okay, so let's talk about cardstock. I'm just gonna let's see, how do I say this? Get on my high horse about cardstock. I'm a cardstock snob. I'm sorry. I know many of you are too. I'm not a snob about many things. Like, I'm pretty simple. I can have my cheap coffee at home. I don't need to go to Starbucks, but you talk about cardstock. And I really believe that cardstock is not a great place to look for, you want to make sure you get high quality. There are several different reasons why it's important to get high quality. If you're stamping, Your stamped images will be better if you're using high quality cardstock. If you're making a card base, your card will be stronger if you're using high quality cardstock. If you are ink blending, you'll get a better blend with high quality cardstock. It will make a big difference. Big difference. See, Monica says, makes a huge difference. It really does. If you are struggling with anything with crafting, try changing your cardstock. It does pay to get good cardstock. Deborah, you're right. Brienne said Cardstock Snob Club member. Absolutely. What I would recommend is if you feel like you need to try a higher quality cardstock, wait for sales, wait for deals, and try them. For the Spellbinders that I'm talking about today, because that's the newest collection I have and I'm really liking it, if you look in my YouTube description below, there are, like, you can get a pack that is 1 sheet of every color, or you could get 5 sheets of every color. Like the 1 sheet of every color, you could get that and try it, see what colors you like, and see if it makes a difference for you. I agree. Yes, it's a lesson that you learn when you start crafting. The other thing with cardstock is you save on frustration. The quality makes a big difference, so I think it all balances out in the end. Yes, cardstocks are like shoes. You don't want to go with cheap. Yeah. I totally agree. Gina K has incredible cardstock. So let me go ahead and talk about where to get cardstocks. There are many great places to get cardstocks. My personal opinion is the best quality cardstocks you're going to get are from the card making businesses that we like. Gina K. Her cardstocks are heavyweight, they match her inks, and she has envelopes that match too. Very heavyweight, great quality. Concord and Ninth has inks and embellishments that all match. They put color collections together, which makes it easy to figure out what works well together. Theirs are great, right? You have Altenew, who's coming out with a lot of really unique colors. That's a good one too. Tailored Expressions. I mean, Simon Says Stamp. There are a lot of great cardstocks. So I would recommend going to your favorite stamp company and seeing what they have and maybe just try a little bit. Really just try a little bit. Yeah, people are putting a lot of recommendations in the comments. Now, I will say that the reason I'm talking about Spellbinders today is because it's the newest, and I found that I really like it for a few reasons. And so I've been organizing that, and that's what I'm sharing. So that's why you'll see a lot of Spellbinders cardstock today. But behind me, I have all of the brands mixed together. Yeah, that took a couple days. So Spellbinders, let me just tell you why I like the Spellbinders, because I've told you a lot of great brands. They are all great. You'll see me use them all in my videos. I've mostly been using Concord and Ninth, Spellbinders, and Altenew lately. But then there's like the staples that I always reach for, Gina K and Hero Arts. So really it's about the colors you might use the most. Now I will say the reason I'm liking the Spellbinders is because it is heavy weight and it is super smooth. And the super smooth is key for some techniques, and I find it to be smoother than other cardstocks that I use. I don't know if you've ever picked up like a color cardstock and it's doesn't feel rough, but it's not like slick. It's not super smooth. Spellbinders' new collection, their ColorWheel collection, is very smooth, and therefore you can blend on it better, you can stamp on it, and you can foil on it better, because you know when you foil, you want a smooth cardstock. So that is one of the things that really has stood out to me with the Spellbinders. Also, there's some colors that are unique from other brands, like very unique colors, like their Sicily color. It's just amazing and so different than anything else I have. Well, in my eyes, it's so different. As far as white cardstock, you know, I probably will do a live all about white cardstock because there's a lot you can talk about with that. I still use Neenah Classic Crust Solar White, 110 pound for almost everything because I can buy it in reams. However, there are other white cardstocks that I've been liking. I'll talk more about white cardstock in another live. Today, I just wanted to talk a bit about why I'm liking the Spellbinders, but then just dive into the organization, okay? And you see a lot of people here have opinions about some of the cardstocks that they like too. If anybody else has, yeah, Concord and Ninth has some new colors coming out next week, and they are phenomenal, very unique too. Now, if anybody's out there has tried the new Spellbinders cardstock, their ColorWheel cardstock, I'd love to hear your opinion on it and see if you think it's also very smooth, okay? So I'm gonna focus on mostly color today. White cardstock, I'll do a whole nother video on that, how I prep it, what I use for what situation, how I organize that. Today I'm really focusing on the color. As far as Spellbinders ink or cardstocks, there's 48 colors. I plan to go through and find what inks, because they don't have ink line. I plan to go through all my inks and find what other brands match the Spellbinders, and I will share that, okay? Okay, so let me just go ahead and dive in to what I have going on behind me and how I have my colored cardstocks organized at the moment. I will say, this is a little over the top, so bear with me because I will show you how I used to store it, and that's much more manageable, much more affordable, more approachable. But I thought I'd go ahead and start with this because that's what I've been getting a lot of questions about. So behind me I had a builder build these in. So these are custom built. However, so the cardstock is laying on its side and there's dividers. Now, I have 3 rows tall. The bottom 2 are just the colors I reach for all the time. And then above it is extra of any of the colors below it because I can barely, that's really high up there. I used to have my cardstock in a cabinet over to the side and cabinet doors. Whatever you choose to put your cardstock on, make sure it's strong. You need a strong base because it's heavy. Now, these are custom built dividers. However, before I got the custom built and I was just trying it out, I did find a cardstock like divider, organizer kind of thing that would be great to use if you want to kind of have your own look, and you could get a couple of them depending on how much cardstock you have. Does Spellbinders have stencils with their better press plates? Yes, on some. They're starting to. Yes, they are. They are. Okay, Mike, I gave you a picture, like taken at an angle of this behind me. Do you mind putting that up? Okay, so you kind of can see there, but that's at an angle. I have a divider, and on that divider is the cardstock name. So I can easily go in there and see what color I'm doing. Now, you may not want to keep track of your different cardstocks, right? I'd like to know the color so that I can order more when I run out. And also, so I can try to share with you guys what colors I'm using. So that's kind of what it looks like at an angle. Let me show you overhead here. So these are the dividers that I use. So here's 2 colors that I really like. This is gorgeous. This is the mulberry from Spellbinders. This is the orchid. I have these, they're called magazine dividers. I have them linked below. They're actually 2 different sizes. So you can see they stick out, so you can see the color name. There are 2 different sizes of these. One of them I think they call magazine dividers, and you can see it's like pretty much the full size of the cardstock, right? Or there is one that's a little bit smaller. So you can see it's a little bit smaller. It's the same length, but it's shorter and the tab is smaller. But it can still be used as a divider, and these are a lot cheaper. So I have linked in the YouTube description below these 2. This bigger size one, well, let me see what I called it so you know on the list. I called this the Cardstock Dividers. So the full-size Cardstock Dividers, this is what I like. It's nice and heavy, but these I have marked as Cardstock Dividers affordable. These are much more affordable. They're a little bit lighter weight, but you know what it feels like is a heavy folder, plastic folder. And what you can do is you have them standing up, and if you have smaller pieces like these scraps, I just put them in there with it. So I have smaller pieces of the cardstock between these dividers too. Okay, so there are 2 options here. that you could use to divide. And there is a price difference between the two. And honestly, the smaller one, it doesn't matter. I mean, it still looks, I have some of them up there. You can see some of these are shorter. So it doesn't really matter that it's smaller, and you would save quite a bit, right? So that's just, I just wanted to mention that. As far as 12 by 12 cardstock, these are thick plastic dividers. As far as 12 by 12 cardstock, I don't use a whole lot of 12 by 12 cardstock. I should have started that at the beginning, that I don't use much of it. What I have my 12 by 12 cardstock in is, I don't know what brand they are, but they are from a scrapbook company, and they're like 12 by 12. It's over, I can't get it down right now, but they look kind of like this, and for 12 by 12. What?
Maybe magazine.
Yeah, but it's big enough for 12 by 12. So that's what I do for my 12 by 12. I don't use that much. I use 8.5 by 11 for almost everything as a card maker. Another thing that you can do if you don't want to do dividers like this, or the one that I showed, did we show that picture?
There was another, no, there was
show the shelf one. Did we show that? I think I forgot.
Not this one.
Okay, sorry, I forgot to share this. I told you it'd be all over the place. That right there, I have linked below. I call it the cardstock shelves. That right there, you could put on its side and be like I have behind me. Okay, so that is an option if you want dividers, kind of like what I have behind me, and you don't want to have them built. So that is linked below. All right, can you come back here? The other thing that you can do with these cardstocks and dividers, is this is a magazine holder, and I linked to a category. There are clear ones, there are pink ones, there are white, there are cardboard, anything that you could imagine. I have a variety, right? So I have behind me the rainbow, but I didn't want the browns and the grays to be out here because I was running out of room. So my browns and grays are in a cabinet over to the side, and I have them with those dividers in these magazine holders that sit on the side. So it's like that in my cabinet. Does that make sense? So this is another affordable way you can put these dividers, and you can easily see the color names on the tabs. Does that make sense? Yeah, Totally Tiffany is a good option for 12 by 12. I just haven't used 12 by 12 in a very long time. So you could, if you were to choose to do dividers, like I'm showing you here, between your different cardstocks, you could do like a shelving unit. Oh, okay, IKEA has inserts, there you go. Or magazine holders. So it's up to you. Now, I like these. These have been nice for me because they're just the right size, right, for what I'm doing. And you can see I needed a lot of them. However, another option is to make your own, and I thought I would show you that. Hang on. Oh, I gotta find everything. It all fell down. Un momento. Okay, so you could make your own dividers too, and I think this is another good option. I have my Gina K Fuse here, which, if you know, is to do her special foils, right? But it also can be used as a laminator, and it's a good one. So I have it turned on, and I have it set to 4, and I'm going to do some laminating. I link below to the laminating pouches that I use. I think the name pouches sounds a little misleading, but basically you put paper in between the two layers and run it through, and it seals it. So it's laminating, right? So if you want to make your own dividers, what I do is I take an 8.5 by 11 piece of white cardstock. It could be any inexpensive white cardstock, okay? Then I take one of these laminating pouches. I have them linked below. I use these a lot for organizing. When you see me show you how I store my stamps and stencils and all that, you'll see me make dividers with this, okay? So I took one of these, and this is what they call it, a pouch, but it's like this. It just folds open. I took one of these and cut it in half. So I cut a piece of cardstock in half to 4 1/4 wide, and I cut one of those laminating pouches in half. Oh, hold on. Now this part's optional, but I like to do it if I can find it. Oh, dang it. Where is it? I had it out before. Oh, Mike, where'd it go? Oh, it's right here in front of me. Yeah, not all cardstock is created equal. I'm gonna try to catch questions after I like do one section of this video. I got a lot to share. I'm hoping I can share it all. I'm using the Spellbinders corner rounder. I like to round the corners of this just so it's smooth and I don't stab myself when I get my cardstock out. So this is 11 inches long, 4 1/4 inches wide. Rounded the corners, and then this is half of a laminating pouch. I put the cardstock all the way in. Let me try to get it centered. I'm a little like flustered because I have a lot that I really want to share, and I'm realizing it might take too long. But I'll do my best, right? Okay, so it's inside of there, pushed all the way in, and then I'll run this through. And basically I'm making my own divider. So I do this for organizing my stamps. I take whatever color cardstock, round the corners, whatever size I need, and I laminate it. Then I put a label on the outside, and that label can easily come off if I switch my plans, okay? So what I do on my labels, or on my dividers, no matter what divider I use a label maker, which I can show you in just a moment, and I put the company name and the color. Okay. If I find two companies have the same exact color cardstock, and I'm certain they're the same cardstock, I would put both names on there and just put them together. Thank you. Thank you so much. I tell you, like this is my jam. I love doing this stuff. But what I'm doing here is showing you if you want an affordable option and something that's a little more flexible, making your own dividers is a great option because then you don't have to buy these. You know, I want you all to have different options for how, what might work for you. Now, another thing that I use these dividers for, and I'm in the middle of, let me finish this first. So there is a divider. Now, it's not as tall, but that's okay. Look if you still can put the scraps behind it, right? And you just put the label, the color name on that, and you've made your own, right? So it's just another option. And what I would do is I'd sit down and make a bunch of these, and then you can have them ready and then print the little labels. So it's just, see how it sticks out just the right amount? And if you have it standing up, the scraps still go behind it. It doesn't have to be tall. Does that make sense? Now, another time that I use dividers like this, Mike, can you scroll it, is I have over here, and these labels are not right yet. So ignore what the labels say. Some of these are old. I've made my own dividers from yellow cardstock. Like this says Altenew Brush Gold. So it stands in my cabinet like this. So Altenew Brush Gold, I have a bunch of pieces already cut. Simon Says Stamp Matte Silver, I have pieces cut. And then I'm still working on the others. But if you have like 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch pre-cut pieces, you can make little dividers, ignore that bottom part, make little dividers like this, and that way you can easily grab them. So I couldn't find store-bought dividers the right size, so I made the size I needed with my laminator. Does that make sense? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So I'm still working on dividers for my smaller pieces of cardstock. Thank you so much. Now, this is the full sheets, right? And then what I do is if I'm creating and I decide I want to use, let me see if I can switch up here. Say I want to use Altenew Puffy Heart. So I'm going to use this, but I know I'm not going to use a full sheet. I'll pull the tab out and leave the tab sticking out. Use what I want of the puffy heart, and then I can go back and tuck the scraps in. And I don't have to remember what color I'm using. So it'll still be sticking out. So you'll see behind all of these tabs are smaller pieces. Now, I don't keep teeny tiny pieces. I generally only keep pieces that are, 4 1/4 by 5.5 size in there. I do have IKEA drawers over on the side where I keep like just all my tinier pink scraps together, my purple scraps together. I throw those in there. But if I end up with a piece that is bigger, I usually will cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches and save that, okay? So this is how I store my 8 1/2 by 11 and scraps that I know, like I know these scraps are Spellbinders orchid, so I put it in with it. Now I do end up a lot of times with scraps that I don't remember what color they are, and I don't want to take the time to find the color. So I have a spot. Mike, can you show the picture of that over there? I have some shelves, and I'm still organizing this. Those are, I went through all my scraps, and if a scrap or leftover piece of cardstock was big enough that I could cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece out of it, I did it. And I have them on some shelves in my cabinet. I don't have dividers between this, and they're not really in the right order, but I probably will put some dividers between it for like pink, red, whatever. And if I just need a piece of red cardstock and I don't really care what brand it is, or I only need a little, that's where I go, okay? I will probably show more of this in the future, but I plan to make my own laminated dividers between that. And I have a lot of, you have to understand, I have a lot of those pieces because I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't get rid of anything, any cardstock. So basically, if I have a scrap of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches or bigger, I cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I put it on that shelf. I still need to organize that. So you see some of it's coming through. But if I'm certain that this scrap right here is Spellbinders Orchid, I'm gonna put it up here so I know, right? So that is one thing. Let me show you, I'm gonna show you a couple other options, okay, for organizing full sheets of cardstock. And then I'm going to show you the label maker. I'll just briefly do that. And we'll talk about swatches. We'll do all that. All right, Mike, are there any questions I need to answer before I show another option? Yeah, I keep the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch panels. I keep on those shelves, but you could put them in a bin, like the fridge bins that are just the right width for that. Or Target has a lot of clear containers that are just the right width. Who makes ColorWheel? Spellbinders makes the ColorWheel cardstock, and they're custom, so they're unique colors and super smooth. And I got the first one. Okay, so, oh, another option. Now, this behind me, I just switched to, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I started with one row along the bottom, and that's where I was keeping just Hero Arts and Gina K, because I used those so much. Hi, Simon, along the bottom. And I liked that I had them come back and build the 2 more on top. Oh yeah, Home Goods has great bins. Target and Home Goods, yeah, definitely. I have an obscene amount of pre-cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch cardstock, but normally just one container would be plenty of room. So anyways, I had this built just to give me more space. This was empty behind me and I didn't really like it. And I just thought this would work best for me and how I create. However, I would say for 12 years, over 10 years, I stored my cardstock in the same way, and I still love that method. If it wasn't a matter of making my room more manageable, I would still use this method. And I know a lot of you have, hold on. I know a lot of you have seen me talk about this method in the past because I loved it. And that is job ticket holders. Let me get an example. Hold on, okay. Job ticket holders. For a very, very long time, I recommended from Office Depot job ticket holders. I have them linked below. You can get them on Amazon too. But basically, these are pockets that are pretty strong, you know, ish. I mean, they aren't going to tear on the sides because they got that reinforcement. It's thicker than packaging that you normally would use. And these are nice because you can put quite a bit of cardstock in there. Now, when you buy the job ticket holders, there is like tab at the top with a hole in it because it's to put a job ticket in and hang. I cut that off. So this is how my cardstock was stored forever. And I just have them all lined up together. Mike, could you hold on. Let me see. I'm gonna take a picture real quick. I still have some in here that I haven't moved over. It's not a great picture, but it'll give you an idea. Mike, I'm gonna send this to you. It's gonna take Mike a minute to get to it and share it. But I keep these all lined up, and they're nice because they slide past each other nicely, and then you can keep all your tiny scraps in there, okay? You can keep all your scraps in with it. I put a label at the top corners so I can see from either side, and I put them in the magazine holders like I showed you before, just as many will fit in one, and I just have them lined up. So I loved this system. I used it for a very long time. Very long time. I really like it. I highly recommend it. But again, it was a matter of what worked for my job. You could also trim this a little bit shorter so the cardstock colors stick out a bit more. But yeah, this is great. The thing with the job ticket holders, yeah, I see a lot of people are still using them. They used to be more affordable than they are now, but it's one of the most affordable options. Can you scroll it? So Mike has the picture. Do you have it?
Yeah.
This is how mine used to be. It's kind of hard to see there, but see how they're all, the open end is out towards the camera. You can see they're in some clear magazine holders just to kind of keep them all from sliding to the side or whatever. And the label of the cardstock name is up in the top corner of those little sleeves. And this has worked forever for me. I love it. I think it's a great system. I just needed to change and have it behind me, and that's what worked the best. So this is a tried and true. You'll see a lot of people out there in the comments or in the chat that have been using this and agree. So that I still use. Okay, that's good. I still use for things like this. This is Spellbinders Brushed Gold. Can you switch back?
Okay.
Spellbinders Brushed Gold cardstock. It's like a specialty kind of cardstock. I'll use it later. So a lot of my specialty cardstocks are still in this. So it works well. And you'll see some other options. Pamphlet sleeves, yeah, there's a lot of different options out there. So that's one. Now, since then, Simon Says Stamp has come out with these sleeves that I really recommend. The sad thing is they're out of stock right now, and I think they're going to be back in stock next month. So I recommend doing the Notify Me if you're interested in these. Oh, hold on, the size of the job ticket holders. So I have, it's about 9.5 this way, so there's enough room to put a lot of cardstock in it. So 9.5 wide. And then I cut mine down. Remember there's a tab that comes on them. I cut mine down to 11.5 inches long. Okay, so yeah. Okay, but you could cut it shorter and then the cardstock could stick out. Now these are the new, they've been out for a couple years, but newer since I did that system. These are really nice because they were designed for this. So these are 9.5 by 12. The front has like a cut, so it's easy to grab that open, and very reinforced sides. So these are stronger. You could also cut it shorter if you want to. Now now that these are available, this is something that I also like for my specialty cardstocks, like vellum and things like that. So these are out of stock right now, but they will be coming back in. They also have the same thing in a half size piece of cardstock. I know some people like to just cut theirs down, cut their cardstock down and never keep a full size sheet. So that's an option, but these are super high quality and the price isn't that much difference in the end from the job ticket, and they're ready to go and they're much stronger. So it's just another option. I wanted to throw out a bunch of different options. Somebody asked about the fuse. dividers that I created myself. You can do that on a regular laminator. I just use a fuse because it's so darn good. There you go. Yes, lots of great tips in the chat here. So that's another option. Now, I will say, let me get one out here. I will say, if you want something that closes up, where something can't fall out, this is what I do with like my really good cardstocks, like my glitter cardstocks. I have my double-sided adhesive sheets in here, my masking sheets. Oh gosh, I have, you know, just a lot of the nicer cardstocks where I want to keep those tiny little pieces. In that case, I use the Altenew pockets. These are fantastic. Let me show you the size comparison from the Simon. It's a little bit smaller. So the size is 9 inches wide by 11 and a half. So 9 by 11 and a half. This has, the edges are folded over and reinforced. So it's gonna be the strongest option. Then there is the flap. Can you see that flap? And it tucks in, which you don't have to tuck it in. You could just fold it over and it tucks in. So this is what I use for my glitter papers, my foil papers, things like that. Okay, so this is a great option. You can buy them, I forget how many come in a pack, but you can also get like a bulk option, and they have that free gift right now too. So this is very good. Now, what I'll tell you, another thing that it can hold a lot more than that.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to know.
People are wondering about how many it could hold. I think
you can hold quite a bit in all of those.
maybe 20 some or 30.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never measured. The other thing that I've been using these for, and I think this is, if I didn't have as much cardstock as I had, this is what I would do. This is what I would do. I would use these Altenew pockets, and you just take, I used an oval, this is felt, but pretend it's cardstock. Take an oval die cut it from the cardstock, fold it over with tape. I stapled mine here too, so that when they're all lined up on the shelf, you see that color there and you can easily grab it. So that I would do with cardstock if I could, because this is like the best contained, but I have too much cardstock for it. However, I've recently organized my felt this way, and I've realized I had too much felt too, so I bought so many of these pockets. So all I did for this, I die cut an oval from felt and stapled it on, the colors up there, and that way I can keep even tiny pieces in there. So again, you would line these up and you could see that color there. This you could do with cardstock. That's what I would do if I didn't have an obsession with cardstock and didn't have so much of it.
I would say 25 or 30 pieces.
In which one? Job ticket holder?
Yeah.
Okay, Mike thinks about 25 to 30 sheets of cardstock and a job ticket in that job ticket holder. It's quite a bit. So this I think is probably the highest quality and best contained, and that's why I chose it for my felt. And again, if I'm using this for specialty cardstocks, which I'm still organizing, but I think it's a great option. What do I use felt for? Felt is my hobby. I do stitching on felt. I die cut and stitch, and I've just got way too much, way too much felt. It's what you all hoard for your hobby. It's your hobby. Felt is my hobby. Okay, then there's one last thing I just want to mention. If I have, this is what I was using before those last ones from Altenew came out. I think these are great. These are from Altenew. I think it's called the Zip and Stash, maybe. That's white on the back, clear on the front. And I've kept glitter cardstocks in here. I keep my foil in here. So this is another good option too, and it's got the zipper. For those of you who like to have your scraps contained. So those are some of the options, okay, that I've found have worked. Now I know there are a lot of other options out there, but I find I've tried everything, and these are the things that I found worked. Now, when I was considering this cardstock back here, I started with that cardstock shelf that I've linked below, and I had one of them. And I was putting my cardstock in it, seeing if I wanted it to stand up so that the paper's this way, or if I wanted the paper shelves this way. I highly recommend this way, because if you have your cardstock shelves, you know, horizontal, it's harder to pull out that bottom color. I much preferred the vertical when I was testing that out. So that's just my thought. Oh, Katrina says she has 50 sheets of Concord and Ninth in her job ticket holder. That's good. Do I have trouble with fading? Very good question. Cardstocks, it's natural for sun to affect it. I do not have direct sunlight on this cardstock. I have a giant window over here, but usually that shades down because I'm filming. My cardstock where I used to have it in the job ticket holders was in a cabinet with doors. So that is something that you need to think about. If your cardstock is out, you might want to think about fading. But honestly, I haven't had problems with fading from the high quality cardstocks that I get. I don't know if they would, that's not to say, but I have noticed fading with cheaper cardstocks in the past. Okay, can you scroll it?
Pretty much any of the main vendors has got
Yeah,
cardstock.
any of the main vendors that I link to has great quality cardstock.
You answer this one?
Yes. Okay. All right. Caroline asked, are all the different cardstocks the same weight? No, they're not. Like Gina K's is super heavyweight, very heavyweight. So is Hero Arts. Spellbinders is heavyweight. Concord and Ninth and Altenew is a little bit lighter weight, but still high quality and not like flimsy. Like so they all vary between 80 and 110 pounds. My lips are chapped, sorry. Okay. So between 80 and 110 pounds. Let's see. As far as paper pads that are different sizes, I could talk about that in a future one. Okay. I do not have Stampin' Up! Cardstock. I used to a long time ago. I don't really anymore. I don't think I have any anymore. I try to use stuff that you could get in multiple stores. Does that make sense? And in your local store. Okay, let me think. What else did I want to show here? Label Maker. I'm going to talk just a bit about Label Maker, but but I'm not going to go too deep into it because I have a video that I have linked in my YouTube description below that shows you how to set up your label maker. And this is so I can do the labels on the side here. I would say this is probably my most used tool in my craft room, and I use it other places too. I label anything I can get my hands on. And let me just, hold on. Let me be clear. Hi, Lila. I love to organize. It doesn't always stay organized. Are you good, Lila? Yeah. Good day? No. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. She has air testing, state testing. Not fun. Okay, so this is, I use this a lot. Now, where do I keep, Kelly said, where do I keep anything smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2? I have drawers of just random scraps, like a drawer of all pink random scraps, small IKEA drawer. Okay, so this is the Brother Label Maker that I have used for a very long time. In fact, the video where I show how to do the settings on this is from like 2017. There are different options for the Label Maker. Can you go check on her, please? Yeah. Thank you. There are different options for the Label Maker. This is the one that I use the most. It's the basic one. There are newer and older models, but they all work pretty much the same. I will say there are 2 other versions. One is like this, but a little more advanced so that you can hook it up to your computer, or no, so your smartphone. Then there is one that's a block. I don't have mine down here. It's like, it doesn't have the keyboard on it. And you hook it up to your computer and you can type on your computer and it prints it out. That I have upstairs, and that's what we use to like label all my stamps that come in and such. But this is the one that I kind of carry around with me. So there are 3 different Brother Label Makers that I like. They're all linked below in my YouTube description. This is the most affordable and the one that I'm I've just used forever, okay? And there are different versions out there, but those 3 are linked below. I have in my YouTube description, all the way at the bottom, a link to a video where I show how to set this up. Because if you just take it out of the package and start using it, it puts this big gap of tape between each label you make, and it wastes your tape. So in that video, I show you how to change the settings so it doesn't do that. I'm not going to do that today because it takes some time. Once you set it up, you don't need to do it again. So check out that video. It's in the description below. Okay, so the label maker. I will say you can buy the Brother label maker cartridges, but they're very expensive. They're very, very expensive. So I use different off-brand ones. I think this one is Brother. Maybe, I don't know. I use various off-brand ones, and I have them linked below in the YouTube description. I've tried all those, bought those many times, and they all work with this machine. Yes, you're right, Nikki. So I usually use 3 different types. I use the 1/2 inch, which is a white tape with black letters, and it's 1/2 inch thick. Then I also use the 1/4 inch thick, so it's a little more narrow, but it's white with black letters. Then this one here is 1/2 inch clear with black letters. So just, they're different options. I have them all linked below. You could do whatever you want. It's totally up to you. But for these, I usually use the 1/4 inch, which is the 6 millimeter. So what I do here, I have it set up to what's called chain printing, and that's where it doesn't waste the label. But again, that video shows how. But all I do is type the name, and hit print, and it'll spit out that. And then I go to the next one, and I do them all, and it will do this long label. And then it'll say okay to feed. I feed it, and then I cut it off, and then I just cut these down with scissors into the individual labels, and that's what I add onto my dividers. Okay, so that I put on the tab here. You could, by all means, just write with a Sharpie, but I'm weird about how I want it labeled. So that's another option. But then I just put that on there, and we're good to go. All right, so there is the 1/2 inch, and then there is the clear, and then there's the 1/4 inch, and that's all linked below. All right, yeah, the off-brand labels work well. The off-brand, but I would get the Brother label maker. I find that it works really well. Okay, does that make sense? Chain printing is the thing that you want to do. It's really not hard to do. You go to label, and you just got to scroll through it until you find margin and switch it to chain. And that's what makes it so that, like, I can print, like here, I'll print 4 of these just so you can see. So instead of, if you don't have it set to chain, it'll print one label, feed it and cut it. Print another, feed it and cut it, and you're wasting a lot of tape between. So by doing chain, you can do a bunch like this and then cut them apart, and it saves the tape. Okay? Hoping that helps. Love my label maker. I will never tell you how many I've bought. But again, if you would rather not type on that little keyboard, there is the Cube label maker, which is linked below. That one hooks up to your computer, and you can type on your computer, and it prints it out just the same. Uses the same tape too. All right. Okay. Let's see. What's next? I think I did a lot of it. Okay, hit me up with your questions while I start getting my swatch stuff out. Hit me, put question in big letters because I'm old and I miss everything. Let's see, what do we have? Do you notice that the different brand, yeah, Sandy, yes, different companies have different thicknesses of cardstock. Most are between 80 and 110. With like 80 to 100 being the most common. And personally, I go for the color I like. Unless I want something that's really smooth so I can foil on it or blend with it, then I would go for like the smoother cardstocks like Spellbinders. Let's see, I answered that one.
Wait, go here.
What is the heaviest cardstock that you can put through your fuse? I haven't had any problems. I've laminated Brutus Monroe's Not Your Mama's cardstock, which is really heavyweight. I've laminated that before with no problem. No problem at all. Do the Simon Says stamp and Altenew cardstock sleeves hold an entire standard package? Yeah, yes. I will say that the Simon one gets kind of tight until it's kind of broken in. How can you be sure your job ticket holders are acid-free? I don't know, but I'll tell you, mine have a lot of my cardstocks, like my Favorite Things cardstocks and my paper tray ink cardstocks, which I've had for like 10 years, have been in them that long and I've never had any problems. Favorite black cardstock. Okay, favorite black cardstock, hands down, hands down. It's the Tim Holtz Black Distress cardstock. Mike, can you add it to the list? The Tim Holtz Black Distress cardstock. Anybody here who's had it, please put it in the comments because I think what you think of it, because I know everybody loves it. It is the darkest black cardstock, and it's the smoothest, not smooth, it's like this velvety feel to it that is just stunning. I love, love, love that black cardstock. It's great for alcohol ink and some other things too, but I use it for absolutely everything. Here I got a scrap of it. It's just super dark. Oh, shoot. So it's super dark. So let me get a different brand. Hero Arts had pitch black cardstock for a long time, and I think their manufacturer, and they were super dark too, but I think their manufacturer quit making it. And so they have a different one, and it's not as dark, but I would say it's the second darkest. So let me just show you. This is another brand of black. It's just I'm not sure whose it is, but you can see this is the Tim Holtz. This is like a basic black cardstock, and you can see it's pretty significant. And this has just got this cool feel to it. See, everybody, it's like a soft black kitten. There you go. So yeah, for the super dark black, fun for techniques, Tim Holtz. For the second best, I would say Hero Arts now. Yes, it is. See, everybody loves it. Okay, so that would be the black. What weight do you recommend for card bases? I'm a card base snob. Card bases. Kathy Zilski had a question for me. You got to pull that up. Card bases. I usually use Neenah Classic Crust Solar White 110 pound because it's heavy, or I use Not Your Mama's cardstock from Brutus Monroe, which is even heavier. Kathy, I haven't tried that yet. I'll have to buy that. If I want to, or I use Gina K's because it's heavyweight, Spellbinders because it's heavyweight. If I want to use a cardstock that's lighter weight for a card base, so pretend, hold on, let me get something. Oh, here we go. This is a good example. So this right here is, I think this is Concord and 9th Aqua Sky because I'm weird and I can tell what everything is. This was left over from a cardstock when I made another note card. So I had this left over. This is a little bit lighter weight. So for me, I put a lot of stuff on my cards, and I do not like a floppy card. When you open up a card and it flops, not a fan. So since this is a little bit lighter weight cardstock, what I would do is cut a piece to be a little bit smaller. So 4 by 5 1/4. And actually I have a bunch of these pre-cut, and it's just a lighter weight Neenah. I have some pre-cut over there, but I just cut one here. And I glue this on the inside. That gives it strength. And I'll have stuff on here so it'll be stronger. And just having this in here, glued in here, gives it the back more strength, more, makes it stronger, and a place to write your message, right? Because I'm using colored cardstock. So that's what I would do. So if you have a lighter weight cardstock, but you want to use it as a base, just give it a little bit of a strength, a little bit of support on the inside with a piece of white cardstock. All right? Okay. Yeah, Julie, for some people, it doesn't matter. Like you have cardstock, you like it, you don't need to remember what colors they are. Totally get that. I think that is wonderful because I wish I was that carefree. However, some people want to know because they can order more if they run out. All right. Okay. Let me talk swatches, and then I'm gonna make a card, okay? You wanna see the card? Let me show you the card. I haven't glued the sentiment on it, but look at the card. Isn't that fun? Show you how I did that pretty easily. But I haven't glued my sentiment on because I couldn't decide which one. So after I do swatches, I'll talk about this. All right, one more time. How do you make the label maker continuous? You switch it to chain print, and if you go to my supply list below, at the bottom, it says video label maker. It'll show you in that video. You can see the screen and everything. Hi, Andrew. Good to see you. Okay, Andrew, I'm so glad you're making cards more again, or getting on that path. I've missed it. Okay, swatches. Let me start out by saying, not everyone likes to swatch. Not everyone benefits from swatching. It's not everybody's jam. Some people don't want to make the time for it, which I totally get, 100%. I love to have cardstock swatch. I do it for inks too, which I'm going to talk about in a different video. But let me show you how I do my cardstocks. I will tell you what I do, and I'll tell you what parts of it are over the top, and I wouldn't really recommend doing unless you're obsessive about it. But I'll show you what really works for me. Okay, so for years I have used, let me show you guys are gonna laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Let me see here. So for years I've used the same die to cut cut my swatches. I've used the Simon Says Stamp large tag die. I've bought multiples because you'll see why in a moment. But you can see this was even an old version of it before they changed the color. I love this die. I just like the shape of it. I chose it years ago and I've stuck with it. You could do whatever tag die you want. I'm going to show you another option here. But what I do is this is crazy. When I get a new color of cardstock, I cut 5 tags. You don't need to. But the reason I do that is I have more than one swatch book. And then I also will take these and mix it with other companies. So I'll have one big one. So you'll have the Spellbinders mixed with the Altenew in like a rainbow order, okay? The other reason I cut an extra is if I find like this, here's a good example. This Spellbinders Orchid, Spellbinders Mulberry, and Spellbinders Violet goes really good with Concord and Ninth Fig. And those 4 look really nice in like a light, medium, dark, extra dark combo. So I want to put those together in a swatch ring, right? So I know colors that go well together and I don't have to fish for them. Does that make sense? I know. You really only need one. But that's just what I do. I mean, it may make sense for you to have a different swatch ring for the different companies, or it may make sense to just have one swatch ring with them all together in rainbow order. This is Simon Says Stamp. The big swatch ring. I don't have it on the big rings yet. I have them all lined up in a container. I haven't, because I keep, new brands of cardstock keep coming out. So I do plan to put them all together and share with you at some point. Really, any tag die. I linked to the one below. That I mean, I've had these dies for years. So any tag die would work. I'm going to show you an option here in a moment. I'll talk about the rings too. So really, I make multiples because I plan to put them together and mix and match. There's a series that I'm starting soon, if I have time, where I take different cardstocks and inks from different companies and show how they look so good together. And that way I'll have swatches already made, right? So I don't have to go make more of those. So I will say also, when I cut all these, I cut 5 tags, and then I also cut flowers, and I'll show that later. So while I was making the swatches, I was making flowers, and I have enough to make many, many, many cards. Okay. As far as the labeling on this, I use the 1/2-inch label maker, and I put the company name and the color underneath it. One thing I do plan to do on this is on the back side, write on there or make a label that says what inks match it. Because Spellbinders doesn't have ink, so I could say, oh, Fig, Concord and Ninth Fig will look good with this, right? So there's a lot of different options. But these are all the new 48 Spellbinders colors. I'm telling you. Look at those three. I can't get enough. And then my favorite color, Wildberry's pretty, but my favorite is Sicily. It's gorgeous. The chiffon is beautiful. It's lighter than Concord and Ninth Nectar. Where is Lila? Let's see. Fairy Tale is like the lightest purple. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Do I get every company's paper? Yeah. Companies will send me it, but then I buy a lot more. And I buy from every company. Like I've bought all of Tailored Expressions. I've bought Paper Tray. I don't know. But I find there are a lot of unique colors in here because I think Spellbinders had these custom made. Okay. So those are and so I have a ring that is Concord and Ninth, a ring that is all the different companies, and I'm starting to put them into different combos. I'm going to talk more about that in a moment. As far as, yes, Jennifer, that's a good point. If you're too stingy to use your cardstock to make the swatches, there are tiny little tags that you could use. Like my felt swatches, which I'll share another day, I used a smaller tag because I didn't want to waste it. But this is what I started with right at the beginning, and I haven't wanted to have to redo them, so that's why I've kept this. Now, let me show you. This is the new, I showed this in a live once. This is the new die set. There's 2 new die sets from Spellbinders. And if this had been out, oh, I'll talk about the rings. Hold on. Well, I'll talk about it right now. As far as rings, I put links to some rings below. These are called binder rings. They easily just open and close. They come in all different sizes. Really big. These are like I think it's like 1 1/4 or 1 3/4 inches. I put links below to some different options, okay? But I will say I'm loving this option. This one here is, I should have left this open. Tim Holtz has some of these. And this is what I'm using now. And I love this because it just, I don't know, it works better. It's like a heavyweight wire kind of thing, and you just put the 2 ends together and screw it closed. And I'm really liking this. I don't know why. Over the binder clip, I think it's a little bit bigger. I think it's 2 inches. I have these linked below too. But really, inexpensive binder rings in whatever color you want is a good option. Yes, you can do like 2 inch by 2 inch cardstock swatches and put them in coin pocket protector pages. That's what I do for my ink swatches. That's another option. So there are lots of different options out there. I've just found over the years that having cardstock swatches like this that I can just pull up and match up to things has been good for me. Airplane cable, thank you. Okay. So these are 2 new dies. Yeah, wire rings you can get. Yeah, I have options linked below. So when Spellbinders came out with their new cardstock line, they came out with some swatching dies. If these swatching dies were available back when I started doing this, I would have used it. But I don't have the time to switch all of those over to the new system. So I might start with this now, but we'll see. Is she okay? What is it?
She said it was a bad day.
Oh, great. Okay. So the way this die set works, this is, let me see what it's called. Wonderful. This is the Color Swatch Petal dies. This one here, it has these 3 dies. The bigger one I cut from white cardstock, and it has like this little indented arch here so that you know where to glue this piece that you cut from your color cardstock. There's also a topper that you can do up here to reinforce it, but I find I don't really need it. Now Spellbinders has this stamp set, so you can stamp the color name right on, it's got a little arch to it. You can stamp it right on that little curve, but I haven't done that yet. Another thing you could do is handwrite it on that curve or put a label on it. Now this I think would be really nice because on the back you can write inks that match with it, or anything that you want. So this is I think a great option. I did it for all the Spellbinders. If I was just starting swatching now, this would be a great option. Now, as far as color combos. So I've tried many things. When I find colors of cardstock that work really well together, I want to remember them because I kind of struggle with that. So I've tried different things in the past. Like I'll take several different ones and put them together on a ring and have just a bunch of them together. I've done like long tags with little swatches, and I've tried different things, but this newest one has really won me over because of the flexibility. This is the Color Swatch wheel dies from Spellbinders. So there is this funny looking wheel with the little indentations to show you where to put things. Then there's a die to cut a single pie piece. Then there's a die that cuts many pie pieces. And then there's a reinforcement. So what I do is I cut the bigger piece from this is just inexpensive white cardstock, just something cheap. And then you can cut, let me get this one out. You can cut the different colors, right, and glue them on there. And then I'll just write the names on underneath it. I haven't done that yet, but you can write underneath it, okay? So this is if you have 6 colors. Now what I do, so you can see I'm starting these. I haven't written the names yet. So like this one, I only have 3 colors. So all I do is glue 3 down. Let's see if I can find some and show you. Hey, oh, I got one ready. I prepared, I forgot. Yes, listen, I'm telling you all, this is over the top. But I know some of you are the same way. I just know it. I know it. Not everybody needs to do this, nor do they want to do this, nor do they want to invest the money in like a die set to do this. I totally get that. This is, I told you at the beginning of this video that some of the stuff I'll show is a little over the top. Maybe there's just little pieces of it that you might find would work for you. Maybe little ideas, like maybe your idea is to just cut a white rectangle with a trimmer and just glue scraps on it. It doesn't really matter. Whatever, I'm just trying to give you some ideas for things that have worked for me. So this color combination here only has 4 colors. So what I do, oops, I didn't glue that down well. See, I'm a perfectionist. We're all different. I wish I could just wing it. Yeah, I like this. It's just keeping up with it that's hard. So this only has 4 colors, so I'm just going to cut off this part and cut. Let's round that out a little bit. Oh, there we go. And now I can add that to my ring. So for color combos from, you can go from 2 to 6. I think this is great. Isn't that fun? And I just will write the names right on there. Hello, Pam. Okay, so this I think is great, and you can get this stamp set for the Spellbinders inks, right? And they stamp nicely in those little curves. But I'm going to use other cardstocks too, so I'm just going to write them. I'll just write them with a pencil on there. Maybe we're normal and everyone else is under the top. I like you, Brianne. I like you. Maybe that's it. Would this help to know what colors go together? Yeah, that's the idea, is like color combos I want to try. But what I can also do, I didn't get any ready like that. This is something I want to work on. It's like I know I like these 3 colors together along with the fig. So I can make make a swatch with like light, medium, dark, and extra dark that all work well together. Does that make sense? I absolutely, here's the thing. Some people can justify doing this, some people can't. I get it. You gotta remember, this is my job. I do this for a living, and I'm trying my best to be organized. Another reason I've been working so hard on my cardstocks is a lot of people want to know exactly what color cardstocks I'm using, and if I'm more organized about it, then it's easier for me to share. So this die is so you can make little color combos. Like this is a color combo I want to try. Okay, so just things that I see that I like. Maybe I'll see like Gina K do a card and I'm like, ooh, I really like those colors together. Like her live last night, I love the colors she used. I could put a little swatch together and I can remember that. So if you're like me and struggle with coming up with good color combos, oh, that matches me. This is nice to have. The color cubes are great for it too. What you can do, I've talked about color cubes in past videos. If you search on my blog, you'll see about it. If you find a color cube combo you like, find the cardstocks that coordinate with that and put one of these together. Put something together. Okay? Does that make sense? I know it's over the top. I told you that at the beginning. I told you. I warned you that I'd be a little over the top. Okay, let me see what else I got here. Do you have any questions? Hit me up with questions. Questions. Have you found a good quality? I did the rings. Okay. What are my favorite unique colors of Altenew? In my last lives, I've used them a lot. Azurite, ultramarine, puffy heart, purple wine. I'll have to pull a list together. Hold on. I've got my swatches here. I don't think they're in order. Yeah, they're not in order. They're not in order yet, but these are the Altenew. The purple wine and the puffy heart. And that's pink diamond. This one, Berrylicious. I love Berrylicious. Heartbeat's a great red. Wait, no, hold on. Reindeer moss. Where's reindeer? Reindeer something. Reindeer moss. Yep. That green is great. There's a lot of good greens here, actually. Sweet leaf is like a nice darker mint. Here's the two blues I use a lot in videos. Ultramarine and Azurite. Those two. Those are some of my favorite. Oh, and Cosmic Berry. Those are some of my favorites from Altenew. Where do my Spellbinders one go? Here, let me show you from Spellbinders, because I know people always ask this. I've done this in a video before. I really like the Violet, Mulberry, and Orchid. And then Tutu. Tutu's a really unique color. It's like a really happy pink with a bit of a peach to it, but it's very unique. It looks great with Concord and 9th Honeysuckle. Dahlia is one of their older colors that I've liked for a long time, and you can see Tutu goes well with it along with Wild Berry. Those are great colors. Then, where did my Sicily? I told you about Sicily. I love Sicily. And then Coral is very unique. It's a really happy orangish peach color. Tuscan, Saffron, but Beeswax. That was one of their older colors they brought to the new collection. I've always liked that. Rainforest is a great bright green. Mint. Seaside is very light pool color. And Seaside, Waterfall, and Teal Topaz I really like together. That waterfall is gorgeous. It matches the waterfall pink fresh ink color. Oceanside's very unique. Windy. Windy is great. It's a super light blue, which goes nice with Cascade and Celestial. And then Cosmic Sky, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I've liked that one. They brought that one over. It's a great, like, bright navy. Fairy Tale is that super light purple. Fog, I love Fog. Anchor is a great gray, and there you have it. And Acorn is a great, like, brown. So there you go. Oh, Alabaster. Alabaster is like an ivory that's not too yellow. All right, can you switch back over? See, I'm telling you. Listen, I have an issue. Yeah, you can use a smaller die to make your swatches, by all means, by all means. How often do companies discontinue cardstock colors? I don't think people discontinue them that quickly. I think the only time they get discontinued is if a paper company stops making it. And there's always issues with paper companies. And Lord only knows how it's going to be now. Does Altenew have matching inks to their cardstocks? Yes, they have. They're starting to come out with inks that match their cardstocks. I don't think, not every ink has a cardstock and not every cardstock has an ink, I don't think. Yeah, it depends on the paper mill, man. It's crazy. Do you know if other companies' cardstock is all made by the paper? Say, that's a very good question. Do I know? Oh, Julie, hold on. Julie, that's a good question. Let me show you Windy and Glacier, because I think that's a great question. Here's Glacier. Glacier was an old color from Spellbinders. And here's Windy. So Windy's just a touch darker. It's a good replacement. Okay. All of these colors that I just went through, these 48 colors from Spellbinders are new. They're discontinuing their old cardstocks and replacing with these that are super smooth and heavyweight. I talked about them at the beginning of the video. They're great.
Is it the same colors, just different card?
Some of the colors they had before, but now there's a lot more, and they're all super smooth and heavyweight. Somebody asked me something, and I squirreled it. Oh, it was such a good, it didn't even have the word question in front of it. Dang it. I started to answer somebody's question, and I lost track. So whoever had that question, ask it again with the word question in front of it, because I missed that. Dang it. Oh, just scroll back. Oh, wait, keep going. It's coming. Yeah, not marmalade. Okay, do I know if all companies get their cardstock from the same supplier? I'm going to tell you what I don't know how accurate this is, but what I picked up on. A lot of companies go to the same paper. There's a lot of paper suppliers, some in the US, some overseas, and they pick the colors they like. So there are some companies who have the same colors of cardstock. However, I know that some companies now are making their own, getting their own made. The reason why not everybody gets their own made is you got to get a ridiculous amount made, and it's a huge investment. Okay, so some companies, I think, make their own or get theirs custom made. I think Spellbinders is custom made. I think some of Altenew's are, and Concord and Ninth, but not all. But that doesn't, I mean, here's the thing. If two companies use the same paper mill, it's going to be a high quality cardstock, and it really doesn't matter. They're just trying to give you the best color options they can. So there is a little crossover between some companies, but not that much. And I don't see crossover with much at all with Spellbinders or Altenew. And Concord and Ninth, yeah, Gina K, I'll tell you, Gina K has, like, if you just want to start with the basic classic colors that just are spot on every time, Gina's got great colors. Her Peach Bellini, Sea Glass, Turquoise Sea, Craft, I mean, she's got amazing colors, and I use them a lot in videos. I buy a lot of it. Her new colors, her Sky Blue is my favorite blue. It's like a good, just blue. But here's the thing. Don't feel like Spellbinders came out with 48 colors. Don't feel like you need to have all 48 colors, right, from one company. Pick and choose the different colors you want from different companies and try them. There's no reason to stick to one line. But remember, if you're interested in the ColorWheel cardstock collection from Spellbinders, I have that 10% off right now. Okay, so I had mentioned before, we're going to make a card. Yeah, we're going to make a card. I had mentioned before that when I was cutting all of those tags, I went ahead and cut a bunch of flowers too. Okay, hold on, I'm going to answer a few more questions. Mike, there's some flying by here. Okay. I'll tell you the name of that flower in a moment once I get back to this, but there were some there were some that just passed by. Put question in capital letters at the beginning so I can try to capture it. Yeah, there are some other companies that have swatching options, like swatching die options. Waffle Flower and Stamp Market have that. Concord and Ninth does. There are different ones out there. This is my Concord and Ninth swatch ring. So just because I said I like that new one doesn't mean there's not other good options out here. This is my Concord and Ninth one. I did a video that was all these combos. Like, I had friends like Aaron from Hero Arts, Greg from Concord and Ninth, Tim Holtz, a bunch of my friends put their favorite color combos together, and I made a card with each of them. If you use the same cardstock with the same ink, does the ink show up? Yeah, generally, if a company like Gina K has a cardstock and an ink in the same color, generally the ink is a little bit darker so that when you stamp on it, you can see it. These are the Spellbinders Craft Stacks trays that I love so much. What is the thickness of the job ticket holders? I don't know what the thickness is, but they're strong enough that I've never had one tear.
Yeah, they're pretty strong.
Blue Sky. I'll have to, I don't think I've put my Blue Sky cardstock away yet. It's out there still. So I can't look at that. But Blue Sky, Gina K Blue Sky cardstock, she has a Blue Sky ink. Yeah, it looks like a watermark. That's very, very good. Kathy Z has a swatching method. Listen, I'm just showing you as many options as I can. And really, not everybody wants to swatch. Do you mix cardstocks from different companies while swatching your color combos? Yes, I will. Yes, because I want to use them all. There's no reason to stick to one company. Do you feel it'd be important to have matching ink and paper? Colette, that's a very good question. It depends on how you craft. Some people really like that cardstock to match their ink so that they can make their card base out of the cardstock and then stamp some flowers on white cardstock with the matching ink. In that case, you know, I would recommend Gina K, Hero Arts, Concord and Ninth. Those are some good options where they have cardstocks that match their inks. I personally, it doesn't matter as much to me because I don't generally stamp much with color ink anymore. Maybe I do. I feel like I can find a color that's close enough, but some people don't like that. Some people want to have the matching. And as I mentioned, one of the things that I do want to do when I finish organizing my ink swatches is when I find like a color ink that goes with the Spellbinders Violet, I write it on the back so that I know. And it can be Altenew or somebody else. It doesn't have to be the same company. Yeah, because Pink Fresh doesn't have their own cardstock. Spellbinders doesn't have their own ink. So to mix and match, I think is a great thing. Okay. Can you share the link to my live cardstock organization? I'm not sure which one that was. This is, I'm sharing the most information in this video. Will I share cardstock crossover colors? I don't think so because there's really not that many, and look at all that I have. I will say older lines of cardstock that I had, like back when there was Paper Tray and My Favorite Things and like Gina K, they were like the only ones that really had cardstock lines. There was more crossover back then. Now I don't see as much crossover. There's not as much. And I think it'd be really, really difficult. Really difficult to do that. I've got a lot of cardstock. What is the best colored cardstock for foiling? Spellbinders. It's the smoothest. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't some others that are smooth from other companies, but overall, I've found foiling much easier and blending with the colored cardstock from Spellbinders. What papers are made in the US? I'm not sure. From what I know, and maybe somebody out there knows better, I think cardstock from the craft companies is US or Europe. I think it is. Can we be assured that if we order a particular brand color that it'll be same 6 months later? Karen, that's a great question. I've never, that's not true. I think in all the years I've crafted, companies had to change the cardstock color maybe a couple times, 2 or 3 times, when like a cardstock color is discontinued from the mill. Yeah. But it doesn't happen often. And I'm sure they would mention it. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go back to this. So when I told you I cut all the tags for these, right? And I cut more than one tag because I'm crazy. But you would only need one. So when I cut this tag, I also cut these a set of pie pieces for each so that I could put some color combos together. And I also cut some flowers. Just because I was running it through my die cut machine, I might as well cut some flowers so that I can make some cards. I wanted to make some cards. So this die set that I'm using is called the Sunflower Serenade dies from Spellbinders. And I like the flower so much. Spellbinders sent me the first flower, and then I bought another one. So there's actually 2 sets of dies here. It's a flower that you cut twice and put it in to layer up. Then there's 1 flower center, 1 base center, 3 leaves, and 1 stem. I have double in here. Okay, I just knew I would want to make a lot. Or maybe I couldn't find the first one. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. Okay, so I cut 2 flowers from all the different colors of cardstock, and then I started making flowers. Okay, so what I have, and these are all Spellbinders colors because I cut 2 flowers from every color they have. Because I was doing the tags anyways. And I made this one off screen, and I thought I'd make another one. Okay? I have some sentiments to go through, and then I have a tool that I want to show you at the end of this. And then giveaways. Somebody said that the job ticket holders is in the supply list. It's in there. So let's make this card, then I'll show you the tool, and then we'll do the giveaway. And I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Which Spellbinders colors are in the rainbowish flowers? I'll go through that. We'll make that card first. So this is the card I've made so far. I need to put a sentiment on it. And I'll put a white cardstock panel in here. But again, all of this is Spellbinders cardstocks. Okay, let's put this together. All right, so let me get my bearings here. So for each of these flowers, I cut 2 flowers, and I'll just make one of them here. Cut 2 flowers, and I put them like offset on top of each other with a foam square between, but if you don't want that dimension, you don't need to. Then, let's see, hold please, I've got a mess. You can see, cut a bunch of the flower centers. This I did, that color I showed you before. For the little flower centers like this, I did the brushed gold from Spellbinders. I love their brushed gold. It is a cardstock. It's not like one of those mirror or matte ones. This is a cardstock with like a shimmer to it. It's a little more subtle. This is brushed gold. I think there's silver, and I think there's white. But I used the gold for all of the centers here. Then there's another layer to it also, to the flower center. Let me grab one. What color flower did I start? Is that it? No, let's do a different color. You can do whatever color you want here. I'm going to do this orangey color. So for this layer, so what I did is I actually put the tops of the layer of the flower together, glued these centers on, and then I popped it on the bottom layer. But then I have these, and because I'm obsessed, there's 2 of these little guys glued together because I like dimension. I need a life. So there we go. That's how I did each of my flowers. Okay? And some of them I did yellow. I just did different things. But I used the brush gold at the center of each flower. Okay? So I had all the die cutting done because I was cutting the tags at the same time. I rarely run the die cut machine with only 1 die going through at a time. So I made all these flowers. Now this one, let me show you how I went about doing. Well, I'll go ahead and do it. I experimented and I found 12 flowers squished together was really great on the front. You could definitely do less. You could do 3 flowers right down the center. You can do whatever you want. But I thought this was fun. Yes, I'm weird. I like lots of layers. Somebody said 5 layers. Yeah. But it's a pretty cool card. And once you have all the die cutting done, it's easy to assemble. I assembled them last night while watching a show. Okay, so what I have here, this was how I went about doing this. I'll go ahead and make one now. This is, this is the Altenew sticky mat. It's 9 by 12, which you can use, if you don't have one, I highly recommend. I use this to hold my stencils in place. If you watch my videos, you know I use this a lot. Well, here's another handy thing you can do with this. And Altenew has the free gift right now with any order. That's exclusive to my friends. It's in the description. And Spellbinders, I think, sells this. And it's 10% off. So there's two different options. What I'm going to do is I'm putting underneath here a 4 1/4, well, I'll just put, this is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch panel. So this is going to be my guide, and I'm just putting it underneath my mat. Okay. This is how I went about figuring out how I wanted the placement to be. So I have my 12 flowers here, and I don't know, I could mix them all up randomly. I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to kind of do a rainbow from the top to the bottom. And what's happening is these kind of grip, and I'm following that guideline. I want my flowers to hang off the petals to hang off the edges, and I cut it, but I don't want to cut through a center because that's a lot of layer to cut through. So as long as my centers are inside of that little restriction, I guess you say. So this is what I did last night. Or no, this morning. Goodness, I have no idea when. I'm not sure I like it in that order. I'm going to move these around. Let me just show you. So I started laying these out, trying to figure out what placement I liked. Do you all think I'm crazy here? I'm wondering if you do. I was watching The Pit. Gosh, that's hard to watch. Oh, I don't know if any of you have watched it. Oh, it's really hard to watch, but it's so good. Okay, so this is what I did last night. And the sticky mat is kind of holding those flowers in place so they don't move. I'm kind of tucking them all in. I had this. Mike, can you scroll it? I had it like this. Then I should have grabbed it. I took a piece of press and seal. You guys know what press and seal is? It's like that sticky cling wrap that my husband has the patent on, ironically, but I took a piece of that and I laid it on here and pressed down and picked up all the flowers together, flipped them over, put glue on the back, and put it on a card base. I don't have my press and seal here. You can also do that with a piece of masking paper too. All right, you just put it on top, pick up all those flowers, put glue on the back of them, and lay them on your card base. Where do I find time? I don't have a life. That's where. So that's how I went about doing it. But here's the thing, I made one, and I know now, because I did this last night, where I want them to be placed. So I'm just going to follow this one. So you could put press and seal down if you wanted to. All right. So now I'm just going to start gluing these down because I can just follow this as an example. Yeah, press and seal's good. I don't have any down here. I don't know why. You know what? I don't like this order though. See, this is where I start to overthink. I'm going to do green up here. All right, question. Have I tried making a whole sheet filled with flowers and cut? Yeah, you know, you probably could. You could probably do like a full sheet of flowers and then cut out the ones that just cut it and force. You could definitely do that. I'm trying to avoid having a flower center where I have to cut through the flower center. These flower dies are the Sunflower Serenade from Spellbinders. But they have a lot of flowers. And if you check their clearance sale right now, or not their clearance, their past club sale right now, there's a lot that you could, a lot of florals. I'm just winging this. But I'm kind of following this. You live Pit for 40 years. Oh, Polly, God bless you. And I'm kind of tucking the layers of flowers between each other. Like I'm going to put this blue one on. See how the petals are going together? Move that one to the side. I'm trying to make them not lined up. But, you know, this is where you don't have to be this way. You don't have to be like Jennifer. You could be normal and not worry too much about it. Can you scroll it? This is a Sunflower Serenade. All right. Yes, they do have great press and seal dies, or floral dies, and you definitely can use whatever floral dies you have. Altenew has beautiful floral dies. You could use them. I originally was going to put this on a clear card base so you couldn't see through, but I changed my mind. Put it over here. No. Yeah. So if you were wondering about the Pit, It's like ER to the extreme, and it's actually that Noah Wiley, I think his name is, who was in ER. And it's the whole season is 1 day, and it's crazy. Yeah, don't be like Jennifer. Don't be like Jennifer. We know this. Anyway, so I'm tucking these in. I'm just following this example. But by planning it out on that, on the, Brianne, by planning on the grip mat, it helped for the first time. But then once you get it, all you're doing is tucking them in together. I want this guy on top. I don't love the orange down here by himself against the blue, but you know, you win some, you lose some.
Does that die have any smaller flowers in there, so you don't have to cut them as much?
No, this die set only has this size. However, you can use other, like here's another Spellbinders die set. And like there's smaller flowers in it and bigger flowers. So I just chose the one I liked. So now I've got those glued down. And we can flip it over and cut it. On this one I used a purple note card so that if any of the background showed through, it was purple to match the card base. But this one, it's not glued yet or dried yet. This one I did white because I'm frazzled. Erica and Brianne, you're too much. You're too much. Thank you. All right, what can you talk about the kind of storage used for embellishments? I just redid all of my embellishment storage and I love it. And that video will be coming up. That's coming. That'll be a live. I find the live is better because then I can address questions. Originally I was gonna take the leaf dies and tuck some little vellum leaves sticking out, but I decided not to. All right, so there we have a rainbow card. And I have another one where I did this color combo. I just liked it. I don't know, these are all Spellbinders. This I thought the fall colors would be nice. And then I also have one in the works with some like Eastery colors. Somebody asked about the rainbow colors on here. Let's start with yellow. This is beeswax. I know that. This is the Pear, Rainforest, Teal Topaz, Waterfall, Cascade, I know, Orchid, the purple, I don't know, Lilac. This one is Celestial, I think. Yeah, Celestial, Carrot, Wildberry. Uh-oh, is that Tutu? I don't think it's Tutu. It's Wildberry, yeah, Wildberry and Tutu. That's the colors on here. This one is Fairy Dust, Lilac, Violet, Orchid. I'm still learning them all. Mulberry. Oh, this one's Mulberry, not Orchid, Mulberry. And then the other purple, Lavender. You can quiz me on Concord and Ninth. I know those by now. I don't know. I'm still learning the Spellbinders. Okay, so that's how I'm doing these cards. And this one I think will be really pretty, but I don't know. I originally was going to put this Cosmic Sky in there for that pop of navy, but I might skip the pop of navy. I don't know. I'll have to finish this one off screen, but I don't know if I like it with the navy or not. If I do navy, or this is Cosmic Sky, that color I love so much. If I do that, I would do 3 so it would balance each other out, or I'd skip it and keep it soft. I'm not sure. Yeah, I like the purples. Been inspired to use purple a lot lately. Okay, sentiments. What are the centers again? The centers of the flowers, I just used the Sunflower Serenade die set. Keep in mind I have 2 sets of the dies here, but the flower center is that die there. I love that Spellbinders has this really detailed flower centers, and I cut mine from brushed gold. It's not as loud, I guess you would say, as shiny as like a matte gold cardstock. It's cardstock that just has a little gold shimmer to it. You like the navy? Good, good, good. It's Cosmic Sky. That was a color they had before that I used a lot and loved, and they brought it to the new line that they have, and it's really smooth. Okay, so now for sentiments. I was looking, I wanted to, you could add any sentiment you want to on this, but I was considering 2 different things. hold on, please. I had a bunch of these done. Hold on. Dang it. Oh, here it is. I had a bunch of foiled sentiments done that I did a long time ago. I just grabbed them out of my drawer. I did some of this foiling I did with black foil. That's with the glimmer foil machine. And some I did with gold foil. And I was thinking about those on there. These were done, I've used this many times. This is a great one. It's linked below. It's the must-have sentiments from Simon Hurley and Spellbinders. You foil all the sentiments at once, and then you have the die that cuts them out at once. And it has hello, just a note, thank you, thinking of you, sending hugs, and love you so much. So there's quite a few options here. So that was one option. The other option, oh man, I wish I had a picture of it. I noticed that there's a die set. I told you that Spellbinders has their previous clubs on sale right now. Let me see. And this one was on sale. Where is it? It's called Spellbinders. I have it linked below. It's called Spellbinders Colorful Expressions Sentiments. And it has the words thinking of you, thinking of you, thanks, babe, wish, hugs, enclosed big, have a colorful love, wonderful day, hello, friend, miss. So there's lots of different sentiments you can put together, and it has the word die and then the shadow die. Well, I like the look of it, and here's thank and you, and I think I might, dang it. Normally I would go with a really big sentiment on here, but I kind of like something small so it doesn't cover up as much of the flower. So I'm thinking of doing that. So this is from the Colorful Expression Sentiment Small Die of the Month. So basically it's normally $27 and it's on sale for $16 and has all those words. And I think that's what I'm going to add. But you could do the foil sentiments instead. I just was showing you the options that I have. Maybe I'll do sending hugs here with black. I don't know. I think I like this on here. Can you scroll it, Mike? What is the other? Oh, this one here that I'm sitting out because I really want to use it. This is like it's called Floral Spray. This one, it's nice because there's big flowers that layer, there's tiny flowers, little buds, a lot of different layering options in there. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to glue this one on here. So are there any questions I can answer while I put this together, Mike?
Yeah, let me see.
Is there a list of the colors in the Spellbinders 48 assortment pack, cardstock pack? So their 48 assortment pack is all of their new colors. There's 48 colors in it. So it's every color from this new line. There is an option, I have it in the YouTube description below. There is an option that that has one sheet of each if you want to try them out. If you want to see all of them, you can go, I think if you go into any of the individual cardstock packs on Spellbinders, it pulls up a page where you can see a little thumbnail of every color and you can click on it and see it bigger. How do you make your label maker more cost effective? Jody, if you scroll back, I talk a little bit about that. I link below to the much more cost effective cartridges that work with that Brother machine. I just lost, during this live, 3 light bulbs have gone out. I linked below to label refills that are much more affordable. And I talk about how to do chain print, which allows you to waste not waste as much. Is there another question, Mike? I thought I had more shadows to pop this up. I need to pop this up. There it is. Is there different? No. I don't know about the Avery job ticket holder. Somebody asked about that. I'm not sure about that.
Done that.
Okay, Betty asked about GSM for good quality cardstocks. Don't worry so much about GSM with colored cardstock. That's more important with white cardstocks because there's so many options out there, and I'll talk about that in a future video. Okay, I'm going to show you a new tool that you all need to check out because it is brilliant. But first I have to find it. There it is. This is brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, they sent me a video showing this and asked what I thought about it, and I immediately said I need. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, and I have a giveaway. Okay. The discount code should work on the Spellbinders UK page. Okay. The Sending Hugs. Hold on. The Sending Hugs is from this foil plate from Must Have Sentiments. That's what the Sending Hugs is. Okay.
That should be in the list, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you about this. This is a I don't know what they call it, Cardmaker's tea ruler. This is brand new. I think it just came out today, and I've been dying to share it. Cardmaker's T-Square. Okay, from Pear Blossom Press. It's linked right at the top of my YouTube description below. This tea ruler is different. You know I use tea rulers a lot, and I really, really like them because it helps me get things straight. But this one's really well thought out. Let me tell you about this. Okay, so the tea ruler here is made for a card maker. So this is, let me get a piece of cardstock out. This is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. Yeah, Amanda's great. She's the Pear Blossom Press owner. So this piece of cardstock is 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. The lines go to 5.5 this way, and then here, the 4 1/4. Okay, and what's nice is it's centering. So you have the 0 is right at the center here. So you have the 0 point here, right? The 0 point is the center this way. Let me make some marks so you can see. Okay, so I have this lined up here. The 0 mark, that is the center between the top and the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to rotate it, and this 0 right here is the center from side to side. So if I put a mark here, I know that where those two lines cross, that's the dead center of that panel. Yeah, it is US metric, but really you're not measuring here. You're using it to make things straight and to center things. Just stick with me. So the 0 point tells you the halfway point, okay? And then you can also draw those lines easily that way. Okay, so this just kind of hooks on the side. The other thing that I like it for, but I haven't told you yet why this is great. Oh, hold on, let me tell you this. Well, I'll tell you in here. What I like to do is I'll take my card right here. I'll put it on here. I like to put it on the sticky mat because I can take this, find where I want it, my straight line to be, and I kind of press it down onto my sticky mat so it's not going to move. Okay. So let me think about where I want it. I want the first word to be right here. Now, I have it. Now I know this is perfectly straight across, like any tea ruler. Let me put some glue on this. And this is my thank word. There are, what do you call it? I'll show you. There are pink dots here that allow you to make sure you're centered easily as you get that straight. So I just put it right up against the edge, and now I know this is straight across this. Let me show you here. See those pink dots here? That gives you the third. So right here and right here breaks that into thirds. So when I went to glue thank on, I just made sure I laid it down, and I made sure that I use those pink lines to make sure it's centered enough. See how I can use those pink dots to help center it? Does that make sense? I'm hoping that makes sense. All right. So if I wanted to make it straight and centered this way, I just put this up against the edge and lay this down and make sure it's kind of lined up with those pinks. So these pinks divide it into thirds. Okay. So let me put this back down because I took this off. Put this down. I can use, let me switch it. The pink dots to make sure it's centered. There we go. So now I know that's straight and I know it's centered. Okay. And then this one I'll just put right underneath it. Like that. Okay. So there's still more to this. So I like that there are those pink dots, that the pink dots on this side divide this length into thirds. The dots on this side, oops, divide this length into thirds. See, this would be there and there, that 1, 2, 3. Okay, so if you want something that's kind of like in the top third. But here is where it's brilliant. Yes, big brain, totally. They are brilliant. This is even better. Okay. Okay. So it doesn't matter what these numbers are. What's nice is the centering 0 and those pink dots. But this is what's even better. That's on one side. If you flip it over, you can use the other side to help you center panels onto your cards. Now I have 2 different card size panels here that will work with it. Now a lot of people have trouble with gluing down, like this. Here's a good one. Getting this centered just right on your card base. And if you have it a little bit off, it stands out, right? This will help you. Just bear with me while I try to explain it. So I flip it over. Here it says 1/2 inch, okay? That uses this panel here. Let me see if it's right. Yeah, okay. So that's this one. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this piece is an inch shorter on every side. It's an inch shorter on this side and this side, okay? So this is 4 1/2 by 3 1/4. Sorry, I'm getting frazzled. So it's an inch smaller. What you do is you can put glue on the back of this. You can eyeball it, but this, you can put this under here and it tucks in on the 1/2 inch side. It tucks in there. Then you just take this and put it right into that nook. I should have done this on the grip mat. Right in the nook, and now it's perfectly centered. Okay? So see, it hooks on there. The big panel hooks on that corner. The smaller panel hooks right there in the middle. So this side gives you a 1/2 inch around all the edges. So what I plan to do is actually put a little label on here that says that size, and I know that side, that's what I use there. Does that make sense? Okay, now this, you can use the other side too. So this one's a bit bigger. This is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, so it's 3/4 inch smaller on the 2 sides. But I want to get this centered. You just use the other side. 1/2 inch over here, 3/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. So let me put glue on the back of this. And I'm just going through this quickly because we're running out of time. I will use it in videos. So I hook the background onto it. Let me try this on a grip mat. I think this will help. So because the grip mat will hold the cardstock and it'll hold my T-ruler right there. So now it's not going to move. So I put glue on the back of that. Oh dear. And then this just gets tucked right into that nook. There we go. And it's centered. Isn't that great? Okay, so this is, and it's a pretty affordable tool. She had it made for this. It's different than others because of that 1/2 inch and 3/8 inch. And that just helps you to get, because I find when you have more of a trim around the outside edge, it's harder to get just straight. If it was closer, it'd be easier. Like a smaller trim, I think it's easier to eyeball. This is Pear Blossom Press. It's nice because it's like two purposes in a very simple tool. You know, centering and getting things straight, and then the other side helping to line up. And it's just simple. There's not a lot of marks. It's just what you need. I think it's great. So that is linked at the top of my YouTube description below. She said that they may come out with a 5x7 version in the future, but she had these made with those special nooks, you know, to be able to line this up, and that's a huge investment. Yeah, Pear Blossom is the one who makes the lights that I've used in videos before. So it's linked below. Yeah, Amanda is, I don't remember if it was, and now look at, I could put another layer on here. Oh, that's cool. Anyway, I don't know whose idea it was. She mentions it in the video. I don't remember, but it's a great tool. It's a great tool. Yeah, and it's for a card maker, for A2. It's perfect for A2. All right, so I just wanted to show that because it finally became available, and I will use it on, you'll see me use it in videos, because I'll use it as just a basic T-ruler to find centers, to make a line straight, but also you can use it to hook, get just the right margins around it. Isn't that clever? Okay, so there we go. All right, so I have a giveaway. I have 2 giveaways. Let's do 2 giveaways. Here's the 2 giveaways. So I have 2 of these. She sent me a few, thankfully. Jen Gross, thank you. Jen Gross's idea. It might say it on here. I don't know. Anyway, I will pick 2 winners, and then I will also include a handmade card with these. So if you would like to win one of these, you just need to leave a comment in the chat. Is the link not working for it? For that ruler. Let's see.
Where is it supposed to go?
They might be overloaded. We'll work on fixing that. But it's spinning.
Yeah.
Mike will look at it. So there we go. So I will include with these 2 prizes a handmade card for sure. Yeah, I think they might have gotten overwhelmed. Yeah, Amanda, who owns Pear Blossom Press, is the sweetest. She is the sweetest. All right, so I'm going to give you all a little bit of time to leave a comment in the chat so you're eligible. I'm dangerous here.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I do have. No. What am I thinking about? Okay, Spellbinders is offering to my viewers only 10% off site-wide. I think it includes everything except their clearance section, but it does include the sale that they have on previous clubs, which I highly recommend looking at. It's all in the YouTube description below.
Someone was having trouble with using that code in Spellbinders UK store, which they may have as a separate store.
I will ask
So,
because in the past it has worked.
okay.
I'll have to ask, or you could email Spellbinders. I don't know. I don't think anybody is here from them. Also, and that's the cardstock I used today and some of the swatching stuff I used today, but I use their dies and stuff a lot. The other thing is Altenew has the free zipper pouch with any order. You just got to use the code and add it to your cart. All the information is in the YouTube description below. So even if you just need like adhesive, you can get a free gift. It's a great pouch. Yeah, and the ruler, that's from Pear Blossom Press, and it's linked below. I'm wearing dog pajama pants if anybody's interested. Okay. The Spellbinders, I thought it worked on the UK. It has in the past. I will email them and see if it will. The depth on the lip of the ruler. Whoa. I don't know if I can show this. Can you see it there? I don't know. It's enough. It's enough. I don't know. I don't know. 1/16 of an inch maybe, but enough for a piece of cardstock for sure, or a few layers actually. Okay, so Mike, do you have 2 winners?
Yes, it is.
The Pear Blossom just came back up for me, so just keep trying. And by the way, I think if you want to learn more about the Pear Blossom, go to that page I have, the link below, and if you scroll down on that, when you go to that page for the ruler, when you scroll down a bit, there's a video that also will help. Okay. Carol, I always wear pajama pants when I'm live. Every single time. Amanda, it isn't thin. I mean, it's workable. It's like you can do a few layers of cardstock, but it's not so much that it sticks up and it's just right. Okay, so I know I covered a lot today. I know I did. I will talk about white cardstock and what I do to prep to have panels ready. I'll talk about that in a future video. I'll talk about my embellishments and inks in a future video. I will do that. Okay, we have 2 winners. The first one for the T-square is?
Rachel Lee.
Rachel Lee is the first winner. And the second winner is
Vicky Breeson.
Vicky Breeson. So Vicky Breeson and Rachel Lee.
Yes.
If you go to my website and email me through Contact Us, I will get that sent to you with the handmade card. My apron is a Share Handmade Kindness apron that they sell over at Brutus Monroe, and that's linked in the YouTube description below too. All right. Okay. So that was a lot. And you got to forgive me because it's really hard to share all that kind of information. But we did our best. We did our best. I'm not sure when I'm going live again. I got to figure that out. Maybe Friday? I know I'm going live a few times next week. So if you want to stay up to date on when I go live, I always post on my Crafty News page, which is on my website. And you can also get a text every time I go live by signing up for the text notifications over on my website.
On the product list.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's all that information's down in the description below. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go see. I think Lila's not thrilled because of the state testing, which I'm not thrilled about either. So she had to write a 90-minute essay today on, what was it yesterday? Languages becoming extinct. So anyway, I thank you all for being here. I thank you for having grace while I try to figure out how to share this kind of information. I'm hoping it's helpful. I'm hoping that there were little nooks and little tidbits, nooks and crannies or whatever that you could pick up and make work in your craft space. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you again in another live very soon. Take care. Mike's busy typing.